It's the Towards Sustainable Cities Research Programme, quantifying the in-use benefits of aluminium in architecture and infrastructure. We brought together leading architects with artists and engineers and with other key people from the aluminium industry, and we brought them together, hopefully in the beginning of an ongoing dialogue, which is much needed in construction so that we can build more sustainably in the future using less energy and less material. What is your most inspirational aluminium-based work of architecture or a product?
I think Greenwich Pavilions, actually. Even though I worked for 2 years on the Brighton project, which is a fantastic use of aluminium. I think the Greenwich project is fantastic because it uses a standard product in a really different way that I don't think we've ever seen it used before. So I love it.
Thank you for participating in today's symposium. Will it influence your future practice? Anything you've learned today?
Well, I think we learnt a huge amount, actually. I think the research project is really fantastic. I think there's a lot of architects have quite a limited idea about aluminium and its durability, its recyclability, all of those qualities that we learnt about today. And I think probably should consider it more.
I think the biggest thing I'll take away from there is just a reanalysis or reappraisal of life cycle analysis. 15, 20 years ago when the green movement started to begin and sort of show footsteps in architecture, life cycle analysis was the be all and end all. It seems to have gotten forgotten, the Brian Lead and the like. So I thought that was the most interesting takeaway from today.
As Allies and Morrison's BIM champion, do you think there will be a strong uptake of life cycle thinking linked to BIM?
I think that for the institutional clients and the clients who are going to continue to own and manage their buildings, it's that input that they will expect to get out from us as lead designers. We're definitely interested. We definitely think it's part of our responsibility. I think it's really, for me, it's about making the whole design team contribute to the data that is required to make the calculations that you get out of it really effective. Without everybody's involvement, one's going to be banging on a door and not have it. Well, as you know, poor data is not good data. So if everybody contributes, that'll be a very beneficial thing. And for those people who are intending to own and manage their properties for the next 100 years plus, that'll be a very useful tool.
We're really pleased in terms of a project in aluminium. We're really pleased with the sculpture we built in South Bank Tower with Tobias Putri and Future City as curators. That was a great experience in working with the material and the guys on my team, really pushing the code, the aluminium design code to the limits and actually creating something really stunningly transparent actually from certain views. What I learned from today was there are actually multiple ways of perhaps joining and fabricating aluminium that I hadn't thought of before with different kinds of welding and adhesive techniques, for instance, which I think we could use as structural engineers in buildings and bridges and large-scale sculptures.
Do you think aluminium can be described as sympathetic and powerful? And is that an appropriate description of the windows of the Western Library?
I think aluminium is the thing about it, it's an exceptional material because of its sheer versatility. And used carefully, it can achieve a feeling of lightness, which is a form of power in itself. Not used carefully, it can be very heavy and appear heavier than steel. So using it for windows on the Bodleian Library is something that you almost have to know about it to know that it's aluminium, because you wouldn't notice otherwise. They just look like rather slender windows. I think really in terms of the sheer level of inspiration, partly it comes from the geometry, I think, and the idea of the expression of geometry is the Bridge of Aspiration in Floral Street. That, yes, there's lots of projects that have got aluminium, but that's the one for me where the expression of material is at its almost at its optimum, but it works because of its contrast with another material, which I think is what makes it exceptional. The contrast of a truly natural material, wood, with the aluminium, the two working together to speak of the geometry, the geometrical expression, is very special.
I think there needs to be a strong take-up of life cycle thinking across the value chain. We're in a moment right now where this practice is emerging, especially for designers. It's being taken up beyond just individual designers who have been interested in life cycle thinking for some time. It's now being taken up by LEED and BREEAM, and with the support of those two organizations and those two schemes, we're going to now see translation across the value chain, from clients beginning to wrestle with what LCA is, to architects now having to begin to understand the practice as a modeling practice.
Aluminium, flexible and light, it's I think within the series this really shows the strength of aluminium, and I think I've learned a lot about the versatility of the different uses of aluminium and the heritage of aluminium and how it's been used for many, many years. And as we discussed today, it's no longer a modern world material. It's been around for so long and it's just being adapted in new ways today.
The book explores architectural but also products as well as sculptures and art pieces such as the hive. But another interesting one was the vertical shell discussed earlier today. I think that one was particularly interesting because of the constraints of the existing slab and the floor meant that the choice of aluminium as a lightweight material allowed it to be cantilevered.
Aluminium and Durability, being the first book, was literally an adventure into aluminium, and I think, as many architects said today, aluminium is nearly in every single building made today, so finding what we call the pioneers of architecture was a challenge, but also I think, Michael, you have this amazing way of making research fun.
Aluminium is think about it, it's an exceptional material because of its sheer versatility, and used carefully, it can achieve a feeling of lightness, which is a form of power in itself.